Here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good morning. I will call this regular school board meeting for Independent School District 544 to order. The first item of business today then is to establish our quorum.
Matt Lemke. Here. Natalie Knudsen.
Here.
Melanie Cole.
Here.
Lee Danielson here. Dean Vigasa. Here. Melissa Hermes.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. All right, the agenda is approved, and we'll pause for acknowledgments. We'd like to thank James and Mary Kay Bloomquist, Lonnie and Fran Jacobson, Elena Winkles, and Teresa Spear for their donations to the music department in memory of Lee Leverson. So thank you for those donations. This morning I'll catch off guard a little bit and switch you up. The regular school board reports, with it being summer and the infrequency with which these groups meet, I thought I'll just call out and see if anyone had a significant report they wanted to make. Otherwise, we will keep moving on to the agenda.
I have one.
All right? Thanks.
So the Lease Country Service Co-op, I'm going to speak on that. They had their Minnesota Service Cooperative annual conference, and we had somebody from the Minnesota Employment and Economic Development come to speak to us, named Luke, I want to make sure I say it right, Gerner, that came and spoke. He's an economist, which he said was interesting because he was following a motivational speaker. He says, so he said great, but what he had to share was really good. And so one of the things, so what in front of you is what just part of what the Minnesota Employment and Economic Development puts out. And what they do is, this was legislated back in 2016, is they are required to show graduate employment outcomes from colleges in the state of Minnesota. And so they track that, and there's like 128 post-secondary schools in Minnesota. And the website that Superintendent Ness just put up is, so people can see it, is mn.gov, /DEED, which is Department of Employment Economic Development, /GEO. So it's Graduate Employment Outcomes. And so how do they do this tracking? Is just some information about it, is that they can track what people earn through the, if they stay in Minnesota, is through the unemployment insurance program. And so they're able to tabulate what people are actually making. And so what they're looking to do is get information on long-term employment and earning history, not just year after graduation results. And so one of the things that he talked about is, and this is for parents to be able to talk to their high school, high school, even college son or daughter about, is you can go on, and this tracks actually from every single college in the state of Minnesota and what they're making to what degree they went into. And these are past students. So his main point and what he was talking about, he says, I'm an economist. And so I look at just the numbers. And he said, I'm not telling people not to go into certain majors. I'm just telling you that this is what you can expect to make. And one of the items he said is that most students now carry around $30,000 worth of student debt when they graduate. That's kind of the average. And so for people to figure that out, and he had a number there, is it's about roughly about $241 a month you're paying on that for the next 20 years, if you just pay. So it's quite a bit of an investment. And so what he said is that so what you can do as a parent or a student is go onto this website. You can go into this data tool, which the superintendent is there, and you can actually look at, I think I'm looking where you're at here, and I think this is waging. Okay.
So I'm at the data tool.
Yep. So you can go onto that and go to all degrees, or pick a year, and I'm trying to look here, this looks a little different than the,
Is that the soonest they have, 2014, or the most recent?
well, you gotta remember, they're tracking, so they're tracking what a second year after graduation's making.
Okay.
And then also, you know, a third, a fourth, a fifth, so you can see actually wage growth. And so if you go up, I think,
We'll go to four-year state universities, and then
if you go old. So this is taking, and I'm trying to see which one you're on. Is this Moorhead still? State?
all public four-year state
Okay.
universities.
So you can go down to, in fact, go down to per college, whichever college you would like to go to. And this is a statewide, but if you scroll down then from that, is you can,
Here's the degrees right here.
the different degrees that they offer, you can see what they're and then if you scroll down for the degrees, so you got wage trends.
We'll do education.
Okay. So then after that, you can scroll. And now he's breaking already out the tab, because a lot of times, and this is what an average graduate, a medium graduate, so you're taking the high and the low, and you go down to, you just pick the number right in the medium, what they're making, and then also where most of those graduates are going. So if you look on the top, like education, well, if you can go, like general education, you can see what a second year after graduation teacher is making, a professional, and you can also see that you can also see the top region of employment if you click on the house. On the right, if you go right southeast, yep. You'll go to another screen and actually tell you where the majority of those educators are going. 32% are going to the southeast. They're making $38.18 an hour. Whereas if you look at maybe the Twin Cities, which is kind of interesting, 9%, and they're making actually $28.84. So it's kind of an interesting thing to not only look at, yeah.
That'd be more in the same.
So where you're looking at, not only of the degree you're looking at, but also see, does this go into the debt I'm going to have, does it match up? And it shows you a trend also, because his thing was that a lot of times you can look at a certificate, an associate degree, and a bachelor's degree. And in some fields, it doesn't necessarily pay to go get your bachelor's if you're associates, if you're making just as much. And it shows a trend line on that. And so I just thought it was a really good tool for parents, because one of the things that I didn't know when I was starting to tour colleges is a lot of times when they tell you how much are actually employed in the field and the business, is they may say 75% are employed in the field. How they can base that off is they ask for response from their graduates to respond back to them. So it's those that actually respond back to the college that they can know that they're in the field or not. So it's one of those things where this actually gives you real numbers. I mean, this is only for the state of Minnesota. So if somebody leaves the state of Minnesota, of course they can't track that. But I thought this was a very powerful tool, especially for parents and for students to be able to look at not only about the field they're going to, but the college they're kind of thinking about, and seeing how their graduates have done. And so I just thought it's probably one of the best things that I've seen in a long time. That I thought it was a powerful tool that can be used.
Well, this will be a tool Catherine Anderson teaches all of our juniors and seniors. They have to take a required course on personal finance, and they analyze a lot of college debt. Here's my degree, where do I go? And this will be a great tool for their class.
And the last thing I should say, for just a comment, and sorry I'm taking so long, Melanie, is that one of the slides, and when he sends me the slide presentation, I will forward it to you, is he said, where do most graduates or students, high school students, get their information on what degree or program to go into? And he said over 90% of the students talk to their parents. And so it's very important that parents have this information, or have information to help them guide their son or daughter to. I think it's just one of those things. But I thought that was very interesting.
It is interesting. That's,
Do other states have something similar? So many of our graduates go to UND and NDSU or over to Washington Science School. Is there something like that? Do you know?
I personally don't know. This came out so just how information gets out. This was started back in 2016. And I think that I'm somewhat informed most of the time about what's going on in the state and what's going on in the deals, and I look at the websites and that, and this is the first time that I can concretely say that I knew something of this information, and it's 2 years later. So anyway, valuable tool.
Are they saying the amount of debt kids are coming out with is just for Minnesota? Or-
Yes, Minnesota, this is just statewide Minnesota, and what the trend is right now is about 30,000.
And I think that's probably light.
Yeah.
Because college debt has now taken over credit card debt for the amounts, it's crazy.
And so it's just one of those things to, again, I think it's a tool, it's a great tool to inform, and anyway, that's what I wanted to report on.
all right. Thank you, Matt. That really is interesting information. Anyone else with a report? Otherwise, we'll move on to our general consent items and what's...
Skip me.
Oh, yeah, I did.
544 Education Foundation Friday, Mindy Fuder had reported that they don't have all the bills in yet, but they've grossed over $20,000 on Friday. So they had 25 teams and great fundraiser for the group. So that goes for the 544 Education Foundation and the golf course. It's a joint fundraiser, so that's a great deal. And just look at upcoming trainings here. We've got Envoy training, which is a classroom management system, August 1 and 2. Coding Club, if you want to be a coder, August 7th. Google Summit, 8th and 9th. This is all August. Principals Retreat on the 15th. Mentor Mentees on the 22nd, 23rd. And Fall in Service on the 27th. So summer's over. Almost. But August is just a great month, the anticipation of getting ready for school. So looking forward to that.
Sorry, I had a question that just popped up about your report. Do other states have that same type of tool? Like if you're going to go to NDSU or you're going to go to, some university in California or something like that? Did he mention that?
He did not mention that because he just works with the state of Minnesota, so.
Okay.
So that's, and I know Missy had asked that too. So as far as I know, I can't say if they do or do not.
Did you seriously ask the same question, Missy?
Sometimes.
I didn't.
That's good though, I got the answer correct.
Before 8 o'clock. So.
Monday. Coffee, you need coffee.
I know.
All right. Very good. Any questions for the superintendent? Now moving on to the general consent items we have for consideration, the minutes from June 25th school board meeting. And then Natalie, will you report on bills and treasures?
Yeah, we had higher expenditures this month, but this is the month that we pay ahead on a lot of the bills. 3 bond payments went through and we're at 7.5 million in the bank. It's being good.
Very well. And then superintendent, will you address the personnel?
Yes, we have a number of items, as you can see on the board here. Special Ed Paris, this is the start, okay? Jennifer Hicks, Scott Meldau, Heather Hubert, Madison Ruckle, Pam Ness, Kristen Shake, and Lene Weinrich. And then we have Marcy Clausen just formalized moving from a long-term position to a more permanent position. Resignations, Astrid Bjornley, Brent Funk, Tony Cottrell, and then hires. So we have our 10th kindergarten teacher, Catherine Carpenter, and then Kristen Knudsen, great find for us, 2nd grade teacher at Adams, and here's where the juggling comes in. So Kim Kamrowski is going to go into the RTI position, and then Krista Simongard in 2nd grade at Adams is moving to 3rd grade in Cleveland, and now Kristen Knudsen will be taking over for that 2nd grade position. So there's always some juggling, and I think that's healthy. If you've been in a grade level for anywhere from 5 to 10 years or more, switching up grade levels is stimulating, and that's a kind of renewing thing. So that's a good thing. So
All right.
recommend approval of those items.
Good deal. All right, is there a motion to approve the general consent items?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion on these items? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. And that's approved, so we'll move on to our new business. I'm looking for a motion to approve a wage adjustment for non-affiliated staff from $11.75 an hour to $12.25 an hour, beginning at the beginning of the school year. Is there a motion to make that wage adjustment?
I move that we make that wage adjustment.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I'll just add in here, what we're trying to do is keep up, rather, it seems like we wait a couple of years and then we try to make a bigger adjustment. So as we go through with settlements, we just want to keep everybody up to speed, and the same thing with number 2 here, the same type thing, keeping up with sub as well, so.
All right. Any questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that's approved. May I have a motion for a wage adjustment for substitute staff positions beginning at the beginning of the school year. Certified teacher substitutes, $114 a day, and half of that for half a day. And then support staff substitutes at $12 an hour. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion there? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. All right, that's approved. Is there a motion to approve a grade level change for secretary counseling office registrar? This would be a change from grade 6 to a grade 7, beginning at the beginning of school.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, anybody?
And I will add in here, so what happens, typically it comes from an employee that would look for an adjustment to a different grade level, adding 5th grade to this building, and a lot of your levels, grades anywhere from 4, 5, 6, 7, a lot of it is related to if you make an error, how serious is the error, so you have dollars. With this person, it's a MARS position, so that's a student accounting position, so it's revenue coming into the district. So that's a great responsibility to our district, so there's the recommended change. And as long as I'm speaking, the next one happens to be Blaine's wife, so he'll have to abstain on the next one. And that, again, is going to the levels of responsibilities. That's what it's related to. That's why we're recommending both of these changes.
All right. Any questions? All in favor of approving the motion on the secretary counseling office registrar, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that's approved. And is there a motion to make another grade level change for secretary from a grade 5 to grade 6?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that's approved as well. I'm looking for a motion to approve the annual Minnesota State School Board Association dues and the additional fee that is required for policy services.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, very good. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that's approved.
Just say that's well worth the fees that we pay.
Yeah.
We have before us a motion, area of business to renew the Fergus Falls Area Special Ed Co-op Facility Lease Agreement. Is there a motion to approve that contract for the 18-19 year?
So moved.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
And Mark, you want to just say anything brief about?
Yeah, it's just, the facility lease is about $75,000, I believe. It's for the spaces that they use, especially co-op within our buildings. It also includes a payment on some remodeling that has been done in their facility. So, like I say, it's annual. They pay for it through federal dollars, so pretty cut and dry.
Right. Any questions or comments? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We look for, along the same vein, look for a motion to approve our YMCA facility lease agreement.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
And then, Mark, do you mind reminding why we engage with the lease?
Sure, this lease is for the Morning Sun students to attend Phi Ed over at the YMCA and be taught by our teacher. When the scenario of that, like that, those students are then considered ours, and we collect state aid on it. And so it's a benefit to the Morning Sun kids for physical education, and it's a benefit for us in terms of being able to educate them.
Very good. All right, any questions or comments on the board? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right. Looking for a motion to approve our concurrent enrollment program. It's a memorandum of agreement between the Minnesota Community and Technical College and our school beginning on July 1st, lasting for 1 year. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right. And Superintendent Ness, just a reminder what we're,
Well, we have concurrent programs, which means that they are going to college and they're going to high school at the same time. And so there's a fee here for registering those students. It's cost of business is going up, and I anticipate that they'll continue to raise. But we like to have our students here in our building, so we're generating our revenue for them as well. So it's still a good deal that we have a good partnership with M State.
all right. And I appreciate keeping our high school students in our high school and getting that secondary education. Any other comments or questions by the board? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, thank you. And in your board packet, you had a fiscal year 2020 long-term facility maintenance plan, 10-year plan. It was very hard to put together, wasn't it, Mark? There's a lot of detail in there.
It's a lot of detail, and you're throwing a dart at the dartboard once you get out a year or two, and so you got to take it with a grain of salt. I know the state does too, but some legislators said that got a bill passed that said it had to be a plan for 10 years. So
Yeah,
there you go.
just like homeowners, I mean, you can plan what you'd like to refurbish in 10, but
And
whatever
then
comes
something
up.
blows up over here. So yeah.
Right. All right, so I'm looking for a motion to approve that long-term facility maintenance plan.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, I'll take Blaine. Any questions or comments on that plan?
I just think the idea is long-term. You know the roofs, we're painting the pool this summer, we did a garage, all of those things. So some of those things you can plan, but it's the unexpected. All of a sudden, the leak comes here, some boiler goes out, different things that you have to adjust for. But just like Mark said, it's the best estimate that we have, and we do sort of lock in, well, here's where we're spending our facility dollars this year, and here's where we want to go next year. And it does coincide with our long-term facility maintenance, our long-term plan that we have too. So we're looking at, the Roosevelt building and remodeling, but now all of a sudden, we're gonna be talking about parking lots at our school retreat and different things like that. That kind of jumps in there too. So that's a classic example there. We have this plan, but now we already have another one that we might have to consider because of just the traffic around this building.
All right. All in favor of approving that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that is approved. And I'll read this resolution in its entirety, primarily because this is information important to the public. It is a resolution establishing dates for filing affidavits of candidacy. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 544, State of Minnesota, as follows. The period for filing affidavits of candidacy for the office of school board member of Independent School District Number 544 shall begin on July 31st, 2018, and shall close on August 14, 2018, an affidavit of candidacy must be filed in the office of the school district clerk, and the $2 filing fee paid prior to 5 o'clock on August 14th, 2018. The clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause notice of said filing dates to be published in the official newspaper of the district at least 2 weeks prior to the first day to file affidavits of candidacy. And number 3, the clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause notice of said filing dates to be posted in the administrative offices of the school district at least 10 days prior to the first day to file affidavits of candidacy. The notice of said filing dates shall be substantially in the following form. Notice of filing dates for election to the school board, Independent School District Number 544, Fergus Falls Public Schools, State of Minnesota. Notice is hereby given that the period for filing affidavits of candidacy for the office of school board member of Independent School District Number 544 shall begin on July 31st, 2018, and shall close at 5 o'clock p.m. on August 14th, 2018. The general election shall be held on Tuesday, November 6th. At that election, 3 members will be elected to the school board for a term expiring on January 1st, 2023. Affidavits of candidacy are available from the school district clerk, Kennedy Secondary School, 601 Randolph Avenue, Fergus Falls, Minnesota, 56537. The filing fee for this office is $2. The candidate for this office must be an eligible voter, must be 21 years of age or more on assuming office, and must have been a resident of the school district from which the candidate seeks election for 30 days before the general election, and must have no other affidavit on file for any other office at the same primary or the next ensuing general election. The affidavits of candidacy must be filed in the office of the school district clerk, and filing fee paid prior to 5 o'clock p.m. on August 14th, 2018. This is dated today's date by order of the school board and posted by the clerk. Will someone offer that resolution and move for its adoption?
I'll offer resolution, move for its adoption.
All right, and second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, clerk, will you please take roll?
Missy Hermes?
Yes.
Matt Lemke?
Yes.
Amy Wiesel?
Yes.
Millie Cole?
Yes.
Blaine Danielson, yes. Natalie Knutson?
Yes.
The resolution passes.
All right, very well, that concludes our agenda from this morning's school board meeting. Today is an exciting day for the Fergus Falls School Board because we're going to stick around for half a day and discuss a variety of issues, kind of do some collaborating, brainstorming, planning, and take no action because it won't be a public meeting, but it will be a work session. So we'll meet again Tuesday morning, August 13th here. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion on that? All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. And we are adjourned. Thank you.